what I love about shopping clearance at Hobby Lobby is that a lot of these pieces come with really cute frames. And so you just pop off the back. I'm gonna put this aside, and this is what I'm gonna work on. So I really, really love these three colors together. It's one of my favorite combos. I'm only gonna be able to hold two at a time. Bohemian Blue, Apothecary, and Kissing Booth. So I'm gonna start blending these. I'm using a ratty old chip brush. I've got a paper plate next to me. And that's gonna help me control the amount of paint I get on. Plus I wanna kind of work my brush a little bit. It was a little stiff. Okay, I'm gonna add the Kissing Booth now. So I have a really cool start of a background, and what I'm gonna do now is part one of a two-part Crackle series. So I am going to use the ArtsSyville embellishments, cracking size. I'm gonna put that on first, let it dry, and then I'm gonna put the crystal clear Crackle on. So this is a two-part process. This cracking size needs to dry for at least 4 hours. So I'm gonna start putting it on. Another thing to note, the cracking size does not make crackles on its own. So I'm just gonna start brushing it on, and you can want to kind of vary your thicknesses. So the thicker you put on the cracking size, along with the crystal clear Crackle, the bigger the cracks will be. So the thinner you have it, the thinner the cracks. So you just want to do a variation on your whole composition so you have a lot of contrast. So you don't have to use the cracking size with the crystal clear Crackle. This is just formulated to make these cracks way cooler. Okay, so that's it with the cracking size. This needs to dry for 4 hours, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. The cracking size has dried. And when I say dry, it has a little bit of a tack to it, okay? So when it's a little bit tacky, you know that you're ready to go to the next step, which is the crystal clear Crackle. Here it is. it with the crystal clear crackle layer. You can see, if I can catch the light, you can kind of see it on there. It needs to dry now. Now it doesn't take 4 hours like the cracking sides. It depends on what kind of environment you're in. But generally about an hour or so, you're ready to go. So I'm gonna come back, I'll show you the cracks, and then we'll do something fun in order for the cracks to really pop out. So the crackle is dry. I'm gonna try to catch the light. There you go, check it out, it's really cool. But you can't really see it on its own because these colors are so dark. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this bohemian blue and put it into the cracks so they really pop out. So I'm just taking this little stencil brush here and I'm gonna dunk it. This is the Jamie Ray Vintage number 18. You can find this on my website, morningdewcreations.com. Just a little bit, I'm offloading. Catch the light here to see where the cracks are. I'm just gonna kind of swirl it on. They're starting to come out, and then you just take your rag and wipe off the excess. And there they are. Isn't that cool? Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, so it's really cool. I love the cracks though. I just think they're so awesome. And they're subtle. And now I'm getting ready to add more. So now I'm gonna work with the 3D stencil fiber paste. It's so much fun. And I have this really, really well-used stencil that I'm gonna use as a flower. So let's do that. I'm just gonna throw a couple pieces of tape on this so it doesn't move around. If you haven't used this before, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like marshmallow fluff, and I'm gonna use this flat spatula to press it through the stencil. And you're just kind of spreading it like frosting, but you want an even amount throughout your whole stencil. So now I'm just going to recover any of the fiber paste that's just sitting on top of the stencil and not being pressed through. And I'm gonna just put it back in my jar. And then I try to look for any gaps that I have, and I fill them in as I'm kind of recovering, putting some back in the jar and just making sure it's all kind of smooth. All right, ready to pull it off. Ooh, I love it. I love it, and you can still see the cracks underneath it. It's so cool. I'm loving all these layers. I'm just gonna take a little palette knife, plastic palette knife, that's all I can find. And I'm gonna just do a little bit of a stem. And form that a little bit more. All right, so this needs to dry before I can do anything else. I'm gonna let it dry for at least 4 hours. In my case, I'm gonna let it dry overnight. All right, I'll be back to finish this up.